What is up, my comic comrades? Today we're highlighting some of the greatest alternate versions of the iconic Superman villain Brainiac. Like most comic characters that have been around for decades, Brainiac has had several different versions over the years, including on the small screen, and we want to show them some love. So let's not waste any time and jump right in. Before getting into the alternate versions of Brainiac, let's start with the main version all the others are based off of. Brainiac is one of Superman's oldest villains, first appearing in Action Comics issue 242 in July of 1958. He's a techno-organic being that possesses a 12th level intellect with extremely advanced technology. His whole game plan is to travel the multiverse and seek out civilizations, shrink them down and adopt them, at which point he guards his collections of captured shrunken worlds. Because of his quest for knowledge and obtaining worlds like Ansett and Ant Farm, he is responsible for the eradication of countless cultures and a death toll of billions. With that said, this is the basic premise for every other Brainiac in the multiverse. Speaking of, let's see what others the multiverse holds. First up, we have Earth 30 Brainiac, aka Red Sun Brainiac from the Elseworlds comics Superman Red Sun issue 1. In this continuity, Lex Luthor and Brainiac work together to shrink Moscow, but Brainiac accidentally shrinks Stalingrad instead. After this, Superman steals Brainiac's CPU and reprograms him to be on Superman's side. At this point, Brainiac watches over the global Soviet Union and gives Superman technology to make Superman robots. Brainiac tells Supes that he needs to invade the resistant USA and make a robot out of Lex Luthor. Long story short, in the end, Brainiac reveals he was never reprogrammed at all and starts attacking Superman. At this point, Lex Luthor is able to cut off Brainiac's power supply and Superman destroys his body. After this, Brainiac's ship explodes with Superman flying it miles away, faking his own death in the process. Jumping to the next one, we have Bizarro Brainiac living on Bizarro World from 2007's Action Comics issue 857. This duplicate Brainiac is a complete and utter opposite of the original. As Brainiac is arguably the smartest character in all of DC, Bizarro Brainiac is the stupidest person on Bizarro World. Case in point, when he was caught by the cops on page 37, he destroyed himself with explosives because Bizarro. We also have Brainiac from the Flashpoint timeline. In issue 1 of Kid Flash Lost, we learn in this version, in the year 3011, the civilization of Earth ceased to exist. This left the alien Brainiac to invade and take it over, making it his own. But wouldn't you know it, Kid Flash and Hot Pursuit from a different Earth and timeline found themselves on this Brainiac's world when they were running through the Speed Force. Brainiac saw that the Speed Force was valuable, so he kidnapped and captured Kid Flash and tried to steal the Speed Force from him. In the end, Kid Flash is able to escape this timeline, but Brainiac killed Hot Pursuit before Kid Flash could jump back into the time stream. And speaking of time, that just so happens to be the specialty of today's sponsor, Cross Studio. High quality watches and other timepiece collectibles have become a hot commodity in recent years, and Cross Studio is the leading next generation Swiss design studio and manufacturer whose vision is to erase the boundaries between fine art, pop culture, and high-end product design. And once you've seen their designs inspired by some of fandom's most iconic franchises, you'll understand immediately why they're the best in the world. To give you an idea of their quality and attention to detail, just take a look at these DC-themed watch rolls they sent over. These officially licensed Warner Brothers and DC watch rolls come in 4 distinct designs, with each featuring a different iconic superhero of the DCU. Each watch roll is crafted of top-of-the-line vegetable tan leather and comes screen printed with a DC character's likeness, colors, and logo. In short, they protect your watch with DC style, and they're made to hold every kind of watch. For example, Superman can guard either your Cross Studio watch or your Apple Watch if you choose. Either way, you can grab your watch roll today at cross-studio.com/variant. And while you're on Cross Studio's website, you gotta check out their other insane drool-inducing creations. From Batman to Star Wars, they have your fandom covered with all sorts of amazing watch-related gear. They also have their Bruce Wayne level $100,000 Batman collector watch set, which you have to check out. It is next tier. Most of us will only be looking at all at that one, but if you can grab one for yourself, more power to you. Anyway, whatever Cross Studio item you buy, you want to order it soon to make sure you get it delivered by Christmas, especially if it's a gift. Again, that's cross-studio.com/variant. Keeping things moving, we have a really fun version of Brainiac from the Justice League Mighty Morphin Power Rangers crossover. In this 6-issue limited series, the Power Rangers and Lord Zedd accidentally travel to the DC universe via a teleportation accident. The Power Rangers arrive in Gotham City while Lord Zedd has been teleported and trapped in one of Brainiac's miniature cities on his ship. But in issue 2 of Justice League Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Zedd is able to enlarge himself back to normal size, busting out of the mini city, at which point he's confronted with Brainiac, who is fascinated with Zedd. Zedd says, "It seems we are not dissimilar, Brainiac. We both want the universe. I want to rule, you want to put little bits of it in bottles and destroy the rest. To each their own. The heroes of your Earth have always stopped you from getting what you want. I can relate, but it sounds as if our goals can align. You want a city of Earth to add to your collection. Does it have to be the city from this Earth?" Essentially offering up Angel Grove to Brainiac. He responds, "I seek knowledge above all else. I would like to see this other dimension. I believe it would be expanding." The two then start working together to take out the Power Rangers and the Justice League, as Zed asks to borrow some of the creatures Brainiac has in his bottled habitats. By the end of issue 6, the last issue of the series, the Power Rangers and Justice League are able to defeat Brainiac and Zed, but once the Justice League leaves, we see that Brainiac has somehow transferred his consciousness into Alpha 5. More recently, in issue 1 of War for Earth issue 3, we were introduced to a crazy version of Brainiac, and that would be Etrigan, the Brainiac 666. We first see him as Amanda Waller has him attack the Superboy clone. We don't know much more about him, but we see him briefly on page 5 of the issue. But one can assume that Brainiac fused with Etrigan the demon is going to be incredibly powerful and badass. It's at this point we should probably mention there's a bunch of different Brainiacs over the years. We have the original that started with Vril Dox, and then we have Vril Dox 2, and so on. He is the genetic clone of Brainiac and leader of Legion and Rebels. He is also the father of Brainiac 3. We also saw him as a brief member of the Sinestro Corps during the Blackest Night event. This version has blonde hair. We have the advanced version of Brainiac from the 64th century called Brainiac 13. This is actually one of the coolest looking versions of Brainiac, I think, as he's huge and robotic looking. He appeared when the present Brainiac accidentally brought Brainiac 13 from the 64th century to present day. At this point, Brainiac 13 tried to turn Metropolis into the 64th century version, but of course Superman wasn't gonna let that happen. Then we have a crazy version of Brainiac, Brainiac 417, who is essentially a disembodied superintelligence. He's a descendant of Brainiac 5, who just so happens to be the next Brainiac we're gonna mention. Brainiac 5 is a descendant of the original Brainiac in Vril Dox 2. He is probably the most known version of Brainiac as he's been on TV countless times. He's appeared in Superman the Animated Series, Justice League Unlimited, the Legion of Superheroes Animated Series, Smallville, the DC Universe original movie Justice League vs. the Fatal 5, and on CW Supergirl. He's a member of the Legion of Superheroes and has a 12th level intelligence. Again, this is the version of Brainiac most people probably know of. There's also Brainiac 8, also known as Indigo, which is a female Brainiac who's a member of the Fatal 5. She came into confrontation with Supergirl, which got translated onto CW Supergirl, played by Laura Vandervoort. She hasn't done all that much in the comics, but she is an alternate version nonetheless. We also get a version of Brainiac from Injustice 2, which translated into the Injustice comics. In the Injustice continuity, Brainiac becomes one of the central main villains, as he's revealed to be the secret mastermind behind the society, as well as being an enemy of Superman, Supergirl, the regime, and the insurgency. And the last version of Brainiac I'm going to mention is from the Amalgam universe. For those of you who are unaware of the Amalgam universe, it takes a DC character and a Marvel character and merges them to create an entirely new character. And in this case, they took Brainiac and Galactus, put them together, and created Galactiac. Galactiac is said to be the ultimate synthesis between machine and mind. He travels all over the universe, draining the energy of planets to recharge his cells. He is essentially omnipotent and keeps a tiny piece of each planet he destroys for further study to gain knowledge, quite literally combining Galactus's traits and Brainiac's traits. Dude came to Earth and wanted to steal all of its energy for his cells, but also keeps New York for his own personal study. But Earth's heroes, along with Uatu the Guardian, defeated him. Uatu the Guardian is a combination of the Watcher and the Guardians of the Universe. But there you have it, friends, several alternate versions of Brainiac. I hope we see him in the DCEU soon, especially if he's going up against Henry Cavill Superman. With that said, let us know what some of your favorite versions of Brainiac are down in the comments. And that's gonna bring today's alternate versions episode to a close, but if you dug this one, please check out this one right here. And if you like all of our content, like, subscribe, and comment. You know the deal. Other than that, I'll see you guys next time when I talk about all things comics.